India calls Trump's bluff. Here's why. 50% tariffs. That's what Donald Trump just signed into the federal record. A 50% import duty on every single good coming out of India. Now, from textiles to tech parts to the tea in your kitchen, overnight, everything just doubled in cost, guys. And here's the twist to it all. India, they're not backing down. They're not backing down an inch. So buckle up, guys, because this isn't just about oil or tariffs or even about Trump. This is about power, who has it, who thinks they have it, and who just called the biggest bluff in Washington. All right, guys, let's dive in. Now, while the United States thought India would fold, New Delhi just looked across the table and said, we'll buy oil from wherever and wherever we get the best deal. And this isn't some empty headline. This is a move that could reshape global trade, BRICS alliances, and even your grocery bill. So stay with me here, because by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why this moment matters so much. So let's bring it all into context. And here's what you need to know. Firstly, starting tomorrow, Indian goods entering the United States will face a 50% tariff. That's the highest rate slapped on any major trading partner in modern history. Now, why? Because India is still buying millions of barrels of Russian crude every single day. Now, the thinking in DC was simple, like apply pressure, force compliance. But here's where reality smacked theory dead in the face. Instead of falling in line, India, they doubled down. Now, on the ground in New Delhi, national headlines call it economic bullying. Protesters are burning Trump in effigy. The message is clear, guys. We will not be strong-armed. That's what India is basically saying. Now, let's zoom out, because India is the world's second largest buyer of Russian oil, right behind China. But here's the kicker to it all. While China, the biggest player in this game, skates by practically untouched, India gets hammered with these tariffs. And if you think that double standard isn't intentional, we all got to think again, because power protects power. So remember this, like as we talk about power protecting power, we have to also recognize the double standards that exist here, right? Because we have to talk about the hypocrisy, because it's glaring. China buying more Russian crude than anyone on the planet, but still getting polite handshakes and strategic dialogues from Washington. And then we have India, the largest democracy in the world, one of the United States' strongest partners in the Indo-Pacific, and a pillar of the Quad Alliance, suddenly painted as a villain? It's so weird, guys. And here's the quiet part nobody says out loud. The U.S. economy needs China too much to risk a real trade war. India, by comparison, in the United States' mind, is easier to bully. But I think that's starting to backfire. Now, let's not forget, the United States still imports Russian uranium, Russian fertilizers, key materials for our agriculture and technology. So if buying from Russia funds the war, well, guess what? Washington is knee-deep in that very same game. So this isn't chess. It's a bar fight with the lights out and everyone pretending they know the rules. Now, what is the strategic fallout from all this? And here's where this gets potentially dangerous. India isn't just saying no. They're recalibrating, strengthening ties with Russia, cutting new deals with the Middle East, and deepening trade relationships with BRICS nations. And here's the quiet move that nobody's really talking about. New Delhi is signaling to Beijing, quietly but clearly, that if the United States keeps escalating, India will find new friends. Now think about that. The world's largest democracy aligning more closely with the world's largest authoritarian regime. Not because they want to, but because Washington boxed them into a corner. Now, power protects power, but push too hard and power, well, guess what? They find new allies. And that's just what India is doing. Now, this is Navarro's viral rant. Now, you've probably seen this clip. Peter Navarro, the self-proclaimed trade guru, he goes on a rant that goes mega viral in India. He says, and I quote this, India steals our jobs, slows our growth, profiteers off Russian oil, and forces U.S. taxpayers to pay more for Ukraine. Now, none of that is grounded in economic reality, but it doesn't need to be, because this isn't about policy, it's politics. Tariffs play well on cable news. They look strong in a rally speech, but geopolitically, it's a disaster. We can see it. Because nothing says partnership like jacking up the price of your partner's goods by 50% overnight. Now, here's the twist, right? And the twist Washington actually didn't see coming is India, they're not flinching. Now, they'll trim their Russian imports slightly, maybe from 1.8 million barrels a day down to maybe 1.5, but that's not capitulation, that's optics. Because behind the scenes, they're doing something far smarter. They're locking in alternative markets, preparing support for their exporters, and leaning into the BRICS framework to hedge against Western leverage. It's a smart move for them. Now, by doing so, they're sending one message loud and clear. We will not be strong-armed by anybody. That's their message. And that's not just economic policy, that's sovereignty. Flex on a global stage. Now, what's the resolutions here? And here's where this means for everyone watching from the US. This is what it means for everybody watching in the US, right? The UK, Canada, Australia, those tariffs, they won't just hit India. They'll hit you too. Prices on Indian textiles, tech components, even basics like spices and leather goods are all set to rise. Now, US exporters, they're bracing for retaliation. India tariffs on American goods are already being drafted. And geopolitically, this isn't just tension. This is a fracture in one of America's most important strategic partnerships. And it's happening at the worst possible moment, with China smiling from the sidelines. It's insane. Now remember, power protects power. India protects its people. And if you think this ends here, it doesn't. This is just Act 1. So, here's where we stand. 50% tariffs are live. India, they're holding their line, and Washington just lost leverage it thought it had. And tomorrow, that domino effect begins. Retaliation, trade, realignments, maybe even deeper energy partnerships inside BRICS. And if you think this is the end, wait until you see what NATO just greenlit, because that's the twist. It's going to change the game. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Do I got it right? Do I got it wrong? Let me know in your comment section below. I read and respond to all of them. And I appreciate you guys watching the baseline, and we'll catch you on the next round. All right, cheers, everybody.